Nice night here at Kansas City. It is game 2 of a 3-game interleague set. The Cubs a winner in the opener last night. 3-1 the final, and they'll hand the ball to Mike Montgomery, who originally was drafted by the Royals, here in game 2. Great to have you with us tonight. Jim DeShays and Len Casper with you. And man, it was an electric atmosphere last night. Over 30,000 in the ballpark. Felt like half were Cub fans, and they left happy, thankfully.
A pretty good chance half were Cub fans. They got to pay homage to Ben Zobrist, the Royal fans here, who was a World Series hero for them back in 2015. Cubs coming off that weekend split against the San Diego Padres need to do some damage here in Kansas City. They didn't do a lot of hitting, but they did enough. The pitching was good. The bullpen in support of Cole Hamels was really good, and the Cubs get the series off to a good start.
And Javier Baez is a nightly topic, and he is really putting his name in the MVP discussion. He had 2 strikeouts early in the game before a 22-minute rain delay, and we found out after the game, Pedro Strop said, "Come on, man, you're going to get 2 hits tonight."
Yeah, he was down a little bit, and the Junis, who was pitching for the Royals, has a really good slider, so that was a bit of an issue. But here he gets a pitch over the plate and absolutely crushes it straight away center field for his 25th home run, and then off our old buddy Jason Hamill whacks one into the right field corner to Blake Hayward.
And to make the Chris Bryant comp, which is kind of fun in terms of his MVP season, Baez played 3rd last night, so his adaptability and versatility on defense, I think, is a good thing, too.
Oh, and by the way, he made a spectacular play at third base, too, making all the highlight reels. Javi Baez has a chance to be the first National Leaguer since Matt Kemp to lead the league in RBIs and finish in the top 5 in stolen bases. That speaks to his versatility.
Leading the National League in slugging going into play here tonight. We'll focus on the pitching matchup when we return. Cubs and Royals in the middle game from Kansas City.
part by Lexus, who encourages you to experience amazing. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. Ford, who invites you to go further in their fuel-efficient vehicles. Check out our entire lineup at your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Menards, save big money at Menards. And by Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency.
Cubs back here in Kansas City for the first time in 7 seasons. A 3-1 win last night. Cole Hamels has pitched twice for the Cubs, both times on the road and both times a win.
And stylistically different. A big strikeout game in his first start against the Pirates. He struck out 9. In that game, his velocity was really good, and the changeup was outstanding. Last night, the fastball was down a tick, but more curveballs, more cutters, more balls on the ground, more balls in play, so he had to rely on his defense a little bit more last night. But a hot night, muggy night, he managed to get through 6 solid innings with a little help from his friends. A spectacular play by Baez among them.
Yeah, and enough about Baez. What does Hamels think of Baez? He was singing his praises after the game, too.
I bet he was. It's always good to have a good Baez behind you. The numbers last night, 6 innings, 7 hits, 1 run. He walked 1, struck out 2. He's enjoyed great success here at Kauffman Field.
Big start for Mike Montgomery. He has faced the Royals before, but it's always special when you pitch against your original organization, and he's pitched really well against them. And an unfamiliar foe, right-hander Brad Keller for KC.
Yeah, 2 guys, their stories this year are similar, both starting the year in the bullpen, moving into the rotation. Montgomery, you see what he did last time out against the Padres, 5 1/3, 7 hits, 1 earned run. That was coming off a really tough one the prior start. Keller's been really good. Sinker, ball on the ground, similar to Montgomery, although he's right-handed.
Career high 9 strikeouts in his last start. So it's game 2. Cubs a winner last night, and we'll have baseball from Kansas City coming up next. Kansas City, and we are ready. Brad Keller, big right-hander, set to work against Anthony Rizzo. We will get you the entire Cubs lineup here in a second. The leadoff man is presented by Benny's Beverage Depot. If Rizzo gets a hit, Benny's will donate $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository. Keller was ready to go early.
He's anxious. He's fired up.
Doug Eddings says it's 7:15. Here we go. The first pitch is taken outside on a fastball. To get us started, ball one. JD will have the pitch mix for Keller. He is 6'5", 230 pounds, facing the Cubs for the first time.
3-3, 390 as a starter. 4-4, 339 overall. Rule 5 draft pick in December by the Reds, and then traded immediately over to the Royals.
And typically those are pre-arranged deals.
Yeah, if one club has a better slot in the draft, to say, hey, you take this guy and we'll give you cash for him or exchange a player. I believe in this case it was cash. 11 starts, 32 overall, and he's been good.
Alex Gordon in left. We'll record the first out. Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Baez coming up at 302. Ben Zobrist behind him at 311. The Cubs have 3 guys in the top 10 in the batting race in the National League. Hayward, Bodie, and Schwarber in the middle. Tough night for Ian Happ. He struck out all 4 times, but he's back in there tonight ahead of Russell and Caratini. So here's Baez, the offensive hero from last night. Game-winning homer, insurance RBI double. And a ground ball towards center and a base hit for Baez. And he's aboard with 1 out. Your umpires for tonight. Doug Eddings behind the plate. The crew chief is Joe West. He's at first. Nick Lentz at second base, and Mark Ripperger over at third. 2-hit night for Ben Zobrist in his return to KC last night, including a big triple in the 4th, which eventually led to the game-tying run.
Even though Sal Perez is one of the better throwing catchers in the game, don't be surprised to see the Cubs start some base runners here tonight. This guy Keller gets a lot of balls on the ground. It's one of the highest ground ball rates in the game. What's he do it with? Well, kind of like last night's guy, primarily 2-pitch mix. He does throw a changeup every now and then. We're going to show you in pie chart form here momentarily. That's the ground ball pitch for him right there. Hard sinker. He'll top out at 98, sit comfortably 93, 94. So it's 4-seam and 2-seam mix on the fastball. A lot of sinkers, as I mentioned. Slider is the main secondary pitch, and changeup probably to lefties only, I'm guessing.
Short lead by Baez. Zobrist taps it foul, and it's 0-2 on Ben. Hitting .440 since the All-Star break. Zobrist might be one of the best examples of why we should maybe do the All-Star stuff at the end of the season, because he's putting together an All-Star caliber year.
Yeah, like there was a time when they did play 2 All-Star games, one mid-season, one at the end of the year, or even at least name like a end of season.
They have an all-NBA team,
all
they have
pro
all
team
pros.
or whatever.
Yeah, in football. Baez takes off, and that ball hit to deep right. It Baez off the wall. Baez now rounding second. And Zobrist will have a double. Ben had to wait. That might have been a triple had Baez kept on running, but he just wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to be caught.
Yeah, tough read for a base runner. The trajectory of that ball, it was tough to assume that it wasn't going to be caught. This ball is absolutely scalded, and yet again, Zobrist puts the barrel on the backside of the baseball. Whether it would have been a triple or not, I don't know for sure, but Javi would have scored, and it looks like he got deked there. And see that first go around.
The Royals are looking to see maybe the touching and retouching of second, which looked to be fine.
Yeah, he's good.
So you're saying Javi got a dose of his own medicine there?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
From Mondesi?
It's a rangy duo there on the left side of the infield with Escobar and Mondesi, third and short.
Hayward with an RBI chance. Escobar is in at third. They're back everywhere else.
Yeah, this is where that ground ball rate can work against Keller a little bit. A little routine ground ball. Anywhere but third base, and the Cubs score a run. Hayward wants more than that.
Yep. Perez took the worst of that. Remember, he got hit by a pitch on the foot in the ball game last night. .87 degrees. They're much more comfortable than it was last night. It was 96. Got him near the right knee. Heat index was 100 last night. Rain cooled things off. Keller looking for a strikeout, and he gets a little topper to first. It is foul. Foul ball.
Keller has been successful despite a low strikeout rate and a high walk rate. But again, it's all the ground balls, and keeps it in the ballpark. He has only allowed 3 home runs this year.
Had a stretch earlier of over 63 consecutive innings without allowing a home run. StatCast AI is powered by AWS. Theoretical sac fly zone for Hayward, and he bounces to Escobar. Baez is going to get in a rundown, and he's out. Looked like Javi's strategy there was to try to buy a throw to the plate and then beat the throw back to third, but the Royals executed.
Yeah, in a perfect world, you can stay in the rundown long enough for the back runners to move up.
So 5-2-5. It will be up to David Bodie. Ben at first and second. And a drive out into deep right. Bonifacio's back on it, and he can't make the play. 2 runs will score. Bodie on his way to third. He's got a triple. Mr. Exit Velocity comes through again.
There you go. One of the league leaders in terms of exit velocity, what StatCast refers to as barrels. Balls hit at an optimum of exit velocity and launch angle.
First career triple for Bodie, and the Cubs lead 2-0.
Bonifacio drifting, but probably did not expect Bodie to hit the ball over his head to the opposite field.
Kyle Schwarber swings and misses. DHing again tonight. Strike two.
0 for 3 last night, plus an intentional walk, 2 ground outs and a strikeout.
23-year-old Keller to the plate. He strikes out Schwarber. David Bodie picks up his teammate Jason Hayward, and Javier Baez by knocking in 2. For them, they've scored the fewest runs in baseball. They have allowed the most. Run differential is over -200. Merrifield, Gordon, and Perez 1, 2, and 3. Dozier the DH here tonight. Rosell Herrera playing center field with Bonifacio in right. Adalberto Mondesi, the switch hitting shortstop, moving Escobar over to third. He'll bat 8th ahead of Drew Butera, the first baseman.
Cubs defensively on this fine evening. Ben Zobrist left, Ian Happ center, Jason Hayward right. Rizzo, Baez, Russell, Bodie first to third. Victor Caratini gets to start behind the plate. Lexus Experience amazing starting pitcher, the lefty Mike Montgomery. Supplemental pick after the first round in the 2008 draft by the Royals for the season. 3-4 with a 3.90 earned run average.
Merrifield lines to Ben Zobrist in left for the first out.
Oh, is Monty going to feature against his old mates? Fastball 49% of the time. Curveball change and slider for Montgomery. Tweaking the curveball grip a little bit. The slider cutter, he's been messing with that some.
Trying to get a little more depth on the slider. Tweaking that curveball grip as you mentioned. Fly ball deep left. Zobrist on the track. Little leap and a grab to get Gordon. 2 quick outs.
All appears to be carrying pretty well here tonight.
We'd like to welcome all the Cub fans watching and streaming NBC Sports Chicago, USA Communications in Shellsburg, Iowa. Sal Perez now the catcher. 2 outs, nobody on. This will just be the 4th pitch for Montgomery. And it's a strike on the inside corner.
Yeah, pretty good chance that Perez, who's a pretty aggressive hitter, would be taking there. Try to force Montgomery to work a little bit here in the first.
There's a ground ball base hit as the Cubs were shifting against him to the pull side. So a 2-out single, and it brings up Dozier, the DH, who's working on a career best 7-game hitting streak.
This ball up a little bit. Montgomery at his best when the ball is down around the knees. He doesn't get a lot of swings and misses at his fastball. He pitches to contact, so a similarity to Keller there. Again, Montgomery, a high percentage of balls on the ground. He doesn't have the 97-mile-an-hour gas that we saw from Keller.
Dozier looks at ball one. So Mike didn't make his major league debut until he was with his third organization. The Royals traded him to Tampa Bay. What was then known as the James Shields trade. It is now known here as the Wade Davis deal. Mike did not get to the big leagues with the Rays. He would with Seattle in 2015. As a Mariner, pitched a shutout against Kansas City. 10 strikeouts.
That remains his career high, those 10 punch-outs, coming back on June 23rd of 2015. They took a little something extra to the mound that night against his old club. The 08 draft, they took Hosmer first and then Mike Montgomery.
3-1 on Dozier. Mike making his 50th career start. Ball hit hard and foul.
Dozier, a big, strong kid. He's a former first-round pick. He was number 8 overall when he came out. Real nice year in AAA a couple seasons ago. Last year was slowed by injuries. Played just 33 games. Oblique and hand injuries got in the way.
Runner goes 3-2 and he walked him. Here comes Rosell Herrera. He's playing center tonight. He played right field last night. 1 for 4 with the Royals' lone run. Came early. The Cubs engineering their major league leading 35th comeback victory. There's the curve for a strike. Tweaked his arm angle a little bit, trying to get on top of that pitch a little bit better.
If you get a little more depth on it, he'll potentially get some swings and misses with it.
Down by Caratini. 1 ball, 1 strike. Milwaukee back in action tonight. Brewers are hosting the Padres. That's a Clayton Richard, Chase Anderson matchup. And it's already 4-0 Brewers. Jesus Aguilar and Mike Moustakas both hit 2-run homers in the first. Cubs have a 1.5 game lead in the division. Swing and miss. 1-2.
3 consecutive curveballs in this sequence.
Here comes a 1-2. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes. Since Montgomery entered the rotation, he has the best ERA in the rotation, 3.36. You appreciate the fact that he's open and willing to make adjustments. Working with Jim Hickey, the Cubs pitching coach. They say it is a game of adjustments.
Yeah, absolutely. From year to year, start to start, inning to inning.
Outside, Mike working here with these deep counts. He just walked Dozier. He's 3-2 on Herrera. That's Bonifacio on deck.
You don't normally see from Montgomery our elevated four-seam fastballs. Usually when it's up, it's a miss, not an intention.
But Mike, just 3 pitches to get the first 2 outs. Laboring a bit now. Runners go, and a pop up into shallow right. Baez out, Hayward in. Harvey's got it. Of course he does.
Wow, that was scary and then beautiful. I thought somebody was going to take a knee in the head.
Cubs lead 2-0 after an inning.
During the Nationals series would be the Sunday night game. First pitch 7:05. Tickets yours at Cubs.com. Our first look at the Washington Nationals this year.
They've got a day-night doubleheader today and a big one against Atlanta. The Nationals won earlier 8-3 and have a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the 5th. In game 2 as Happ robbed by Keller. Mondesi was right behind him, so he probably makes the play, but Ian hit it hard right into the pitcher's mitt.
Yeah, Ian 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts in the ball game last night, so he's not going to waste any time tonight. He's going to go up there and attack. It's right on the screws. The big right-hander was in the way. And there's a good look at the positioning of the infield. Probably wouldn't have gotten through, as Len mentioned.
Ball one high. Addison Russell. He had a 2-hit night on the 8th spot last night. Hitting 8th again tonight. Keller is from Flowery Branch, Georgia. If you are a really big NFL fan, I mean really astute, you will know that is the training camp home of the Falcons. About 45 miles northeast of Atlanta.
I thought you were going to say it was the birthplace of Tommy Nobis or something. Well, he looks like a footballer, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Russell takes the walk. First one issued by Keller. He was seen in high school by scouts almost by accident. We're looking at some area prospects. Clint Frazier was one of those guys, and Keller happened to strike out Frazier twice in one game. That opened some eyes. A good scout has an open mind, right? You go to see one or two guys, and if somebody else
and that's
jumps into your view.
One of the tricks of the trade.
Caratini out into deep center. Herrera turning, and he makes the grab on the warning track. Russell had gotten all the way to second, and he'll head back to first.
The ball really is carrying. That was pretty well struck, but ball went a lot further than I thought when he initially struck it. And underneath it a little bit, but still sailed it pretty deep here to straightaway center field. Yeah, you know, scouts will tell you if they're on a guy, especially it's one of the best ways to scout hitters is if you're on a guy who's throwing 95 miles per hour in high school and some guy turns him around 3 times, that's going to get your attention. Likewise, if you've established the credentials of a hitter and somebody's able to dominate him from the mound, that too will get your attention.
The Royals were in on Keller in the 2013 draft, but due to their bonus pool money, the top 10 rounds, they needed him to fall to the 11th round, and the Diamondbacks grabbed him in the 8th. Rizzo hits a ground ball to Merrifield, and that's it for the Cubs. In the second, they lead the Royals 2-0. To the hold true moment later in tonight's game.
These pretzels are making me thirsty.
Jorge Bonifacio will start the Kansas City second. Montgomery's pitch is hit in the air, foul, out of play.
First pitch swinging Bonifacio. Royals don't walk much.
Montgomery coming back on a 1-1.
The Kansas City Royals walk 6.8% of their plate appearances. That's tied for last in the major leagues with the Detroit Tigers.
They are tied with the Orioles for the worst record in the game, 34-78.
Both clubs on pace to lose well over 100 games. They played in the postseason 3 years ago, those two teams.
Can change
Squared
quickly.
off. Yeah.
In both directions. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on a changeup. First strikeout for Mike. Very sad news to pass along. Stan Mikita, the great Chicago Blackhawk, maybe the greatest player in the history of the franchise, passed away earlier today after a long illness at 78 years old. He was a sweet soul and was able to enjoy this recent run at the United Center for most of the home games. His entire NHL career spent with the Blackhawks, beginning in 1958 and concluding in 1980. We want to pass along our deepest sympathies to Stan's family and the Blackhawks as well. One ball and 2 strikes to Adalberto Mondesi. 0 for 4 in the opener. Swing and a miss. 2 down.
Strikeouts coming on changeups. Mike talked after his last start about wanting to up his strikeout rate just to try to keep the ball out of play. He kind of become a little bit vulnerable to lady luck with so many balls in play. His MO for the most part has been inducing soft contact with sinkers, curveballs, and that changeup down. Last time out against the Padres, Mike went 5 1/3, allowed 1 run on 7 hits. Couple of strikeouts and a walk.
Escobar playing third. Give Mondesi some reps at short. 6th start at the hot corner. His first ever experience there in the big leagues this year. Played 3 innings in winter ball previously, but that was it. He's had a little time at center field as well. And this will get into center for a 2-out base hit.
Anything can happen in this sport on any given night, and we saw it with the Padres over the weekend. But as you look up and down your lineup card here, just not a lot of firepower in this lineup for the Royals. So you don't walk people, you don't give them extra opportunities by kicking the ball around. Feel really good about their chances to beat them, unless their starting pitcher comes out and dials up a dandy.
Butera, 1 hopper to Russell, and that will end the inning as we remember Hockey Hall of Famer, the great Chicago Blackhawk Stan Mikita, who's passed away at age 78. Cubs lead 2-0. A first inning 2-run triple. David Bodie. Baez 1 for 1. And our high-speed action is powered by Xfinity. Baez going out into right. Worry about a collision there, but Hayward sliding underneath. Baez making a tough play look easy. And that saved a run.
Yeah, he's very good at doing just that. He's under control, and fairly typical to see that play out the way it did. Outfielder go low, infielder stay high. But again, it was just one of those tweener balls that looked real ugly for a while.
Hayward hitting in the cleanup spot for the first time this season. Talks it over with his manager. Slider misses low and outside, 2-2. Missed again.
On basketball, they talk about guys having a nose for the ball. That's Baez. Even on that ball that bounced in the dirt, he scrambled to recover it.
Yep. Merrifield will scoop and throw to Butera in time.
The Arlington Million, one of the great parties of the summer, is this Saturday. See the drama of a championship horse race. It's a day that local celebrities don't miss. You shouldn't either. See you Saturday at the Arlington Million. Visit arlingtonpark.com to plan your day. Are you going to be there?
What day is it?
Saturday.
Well, we have a game.
Oh, well, but celebrities are going to be there.
And I guess I will be. If that's what you meant. I'm not a celebrity. As Ron Santo once said, I'm not media, I'm me. I'm a Cub. Every once in a while, someone will play a practical joke on him and ask him to see his media credential. I'm not media. About Ronnie all the time. 3-1 on Ben Zobrist.
Miller doesn't waste any time between pitches. Gather himself here though before making this 3-1 pitch to Zobrist. And as good as anybody for an extended period of time now. No, 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 no. Doug Eddings. Sal Perez does not get high marks in terms of pitch framing. He stole that one though.
3-2 foul. As we said earlier, not nearly as hot tonight as it was last night when we got started. This time he walks. That'll bring up Hayward with a man on. Talking with Cubs assistant general manager Randy Bush, the former Minnesota Twin. I asked him what they did to keep cool playing on the AstroTurf back in the 80s. He said they had buckets of ammonia water. He said we would literally, when we were hitting, if I wasn't due up, I would sit in the dugout and put my feet in a bucket of ammonia water, and then you'd slosh back out to your position. And he said by the time the next half inning ended, your feet would be totally dry.
Yeah, I've never heard of anybody doing that before. We used to always use the ammonia water, with the towel around the neck and on the head. I never heard of anybody dipping their feet in there.
Long pause and the stretch. Now the pitch. This is inside to Hayward.
On the ride out here today, Randy was talking about this ballpark. This is the first time he's been in here since his playing days with the Twins, and his thing that popped into his mind first was a game they played here where things went south, and Tom Kelly, as they got into the clubhouse after the game, and TK said, "Don't change, don't eat the spread." He had them keep the lights on, and they came back out and had a workout.
Runner going, and Zobrist is going to be out. Busted hit and run as Hayward couldn't make contact. So 2 outs. Almost impossible to make contact on that pitch.
And it's they had the right combination, because the straight steal is not really an option with Zoe, especially with Perez behind the plate. We talked about all the ground balls that Keller gets, and Hayward just doesn't swing and miss all that often, so you feel pretty comfortable that he's going to put it in play.
1-2. Yeah, Randy said they were out there for another hour after a night game.
Yeah, having a spring training like workout.
But they waited till all the fans left before they headed back out. Onto the turf here at Kauffman Stadium. Used to be called Royals Stadium. Yeah, it got really hot on days like that. Baseball is brought to you by T-Mobile. So there's the old AstroTurf. Kind of fun as they put grass in here in 1995. Whit Merrifield leading off for Kansas City. Here in the 3rd inning. Real nice job with this ballpark and the renovations as well. I seem to recall Chris Cooper, the actor. You know the name?
No.
Google him. You'll know him. I believe he helped build this ballpark.
Like with his hands?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, he built it single-handedly. Sliding catch. Jason Hayward in foul ground.
Well, there's been a couple spectacular plays. First Baez, now Hayward. This time it's a Merrifield, probably their best. Not probably, he is their best player. Floats this one into foul territory. 3 converging. Best option makes the call and makes the play.
Strike on Gordon. Yes, Chris Cooper helped with the construction of this park.
Like he made a financial.
No.
Like help design it.
No, he helped build the park. You know
So
how
he
they
did.
have construction workers who.
Yeah. So.
help
Oh, I
build
think he was a
things.
younger before he
Yes.
became. Yeah,
Yeah.
So really with his hands. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was working.
I believe he is an Oscar winner, if I am not mistaken. Two and one on Gordon. Bodie and Russell are out, and Addison with a great attempt couldn't get it. Gordon will hold with a single.
Well, with what has already transpired here tonight, I thought Addy was going to be able to make a play on this ball. He certainly gave it a spirited effort. And some hard contact for outs in this ball game. Here's a little flare that falls safely to the ground, and that's what we were talking about earlier about the need to, get more swings and misses and strike out more guys. Obviously, that's not on Montgomery, that little flare, but that's just the nature of the sport. More balls in play, you become more vulnerable. That kind of stuff. And that was the hope when they signed Yu Darvish and Tyler Chatwood, plus stuff guys who would be able to generate more strikeouts.
Knocked down by Caratini. Cubs lead 2-0. Royals batting in the third inning. Montgomery will check on Gordon. I really think, Alex Gordon has discussed possible retirement. His contract expires after next season. I think he should go the Rob Manfred route after he retires, because what we really need at some point is a Commissioner Gordon.
That would be wonderful. You ought to stop by their clubhouse tomorrow and make that suggestion.
He currently is a Batman. He could be Commissioner Gordon. Popped him up. Russell is out, and he will take it.
They've got an O'Hearn on their bench, but not an O'Hara.
Now Dozier, he walked in the first inning. Marcia Stewart and friends are attending here tonight, rooting on the Cubs. Send out happy 90th birthday wishes to Millie Burdick. Hey!
Got good feel for that changeup tonight. They're able to slot it over the plate, bottom of the knees on 0-0.
Active night for Caratini.
Joe, did he go? Just kind of tucked away there. You couldn't see Doug Eddings in the middle of that conversation at first base. Obviously, throwing strike one is important. Montgomery did it over 72% of the time in his last start. The key, obviously, is to be able to throw it without throwing it over the heart of the plate, or throw something other than a fastball. Whether it's the curve, the change, or a painted heater.
Wide one, and it's 2-1.
That's interesting, though. Our audio, we could pick up Doug Eddings saying, "No, that's high." And look where that pitch is on our pitch cast.
Sure, he didn't say wide?
I thought he said high.
Maybe.
I've never heard an umpire say wide, but maybe he did.
We're going to dissect the audio, see what we come up with. Caratini calling for a change, and it works. Sent Dozier to his knee. Third strikeout for Montgomery. He's got a 2-0 lead after 3.
Hosts its first ever Grateful Dead night at Wrigley Field. Fans who purchase tickets through the Cubs.com/Grateful Dead site will receive an exclusive Cubs and Grateful Dead cap. A portion of the proceeds from every sale benefit the Rex Foundation. Come early, an acoustic pregame show at Gallagher Way featuring Mr. Blotto covering Grateful Dead. Cubs.com/Grateful Dead.
Now the pride of Neosho County Community College, not too far from Kansas City. David Bodie, big 2-run 3-base hit in the first.
That opposite field power got Keller's attention. He tried to jam him with a heater.
Ground ball right to Merrifield, almost behind second base, and he gets him. There was a piece today on ESPN.com by Sam Miller about the shift.
What about killing Albert Pujols?
No, it was not that one. It was about all the studies they've done on the shift, kind of expanding on the idea that while the shift has taken away some hits, there is evidence to show that pitchers don't throw as many strikes with the shift. Schwarber fouls away. So it's not as if to indicate that pitchers are trying to pitch to the shift, but that they nibble a little bit more. And they walk a few more guys, pitch count builds.
I guess my question, and I haven't seen the article, and he may answer this in the article, is it possible that there are just two things that are happening on parallel tracks?
Well, yes,
there's shifting
they've
and there's pitchers nibbling, but one is not. It's not causing effect.
Quoting from the article, even though the shift is good at gobbling up grounders and line drives, the secondary effect is making pitchers throw more pitches out of the strike zone.
Yeah, and I'm trying to wrap my brain around why a pitcher would pitch out of the strike zone.
Don't know.
You know? Because contact should favor him.
Russell Carlton of Baseball Prospectus had a piece about this. Let's see.
Yeah, that was a little while back,
Yep,
right?
yep.
I read that one.
Our group of 201 players walked 9.8% of the time against the shift, 9% of the time without the shift. Doesn't sound like a lot. Said it's almost exactly the jump we've seen overall in the majors from 2015 to 2017. On that scale, that was almost 1,800 more walks. It's hard to say why for certain, but it is happening.
Well, I mean, without having any evidence to back up my argument, you could theorize because of the shift, guys are less likely to swing early. They're looking for a ball they can do damage on. They're looking for something they can launch. So that's creating deeper counts, which would obviously lead to both more strikeouts and more walks. Kyle may be a prime example of that. Ball on the ground to the right side more times than not is going to be an out for him.
Swing and a miss, strike three. He has fanned both times. 2 outs here in the 4th, and now it's Ian Happ.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mentioned at the start that Keller's strikeout rate is well below league average, but maybe starting to develop the feel for it. You mentioned his last start, he struck out 9. Obviously has plenty of velocity. You've seen 96, 97. Here's the changeup. Further confidence and a little more development, refining that pitch, and the strikeouts will probably spike for him.
Yeah, you know, I think this is now over like a period of 3 years. Fewer fastballs when the shift is employed. More balls, more walks, more hitters counts, more doubles, more triples, more homers, and fewer strikeouts. Fewer, not more.
Not in the game, but only on the shift.
Shifting.
Yeah.
It's just interesting. 2-2 on Happ. And the Cubs, as we know, shift less frequently than any team in the game. Three and 2 on Ian.
That's a pretty good take right there for a guy who punched out 4 times last night and lined out to start the ball game, start his ball game tonight. I think he could understand that he'd be a little jumpy, a little antsy. Pretty good down though. The chase typically comes elevated fastball or changeup. Not quite as often on that breaking pitch.
And he walked him.
Nice work.
We went back, by the way. Earlier, Doug Edding said ball outside. He did not say wide or high. So we did get to the bottom of it.
It's going to be another game we've got in production.
What did the umpire
said? Yeah.
And I don't think they really go all in at the end of the shifting column, but one of the things they say is instead of banning the shift, more teams might just want to not do it as often. That might be kind of the response to what's going on now. That naturally, over the course of time, you should only shift in the drastic situations in terms of the spray charts. Dale Swaim was very much into shifting when he managed the Cubs. Here's the pitch. Russell fouls out of play. I tend to think, I don't know how you feel about it, that over the next 5 to 10 years, it just will naturally become something else. It's not going to stay the way it is now forever in terms of what teams do defensively. Merrifield will pick it up in the outfield grass.
I will respond to you in the next thing.
Okay, they were not shifting against Russell. Cubs leave 1 and lead the game 2-0.
Cubs lead the Royals 2-0. 1 week from tonight, that would be the Tuesday, August 14th. Cubs and the Brewers will play at 1:20, and up to the first 10,000 early arriving adults age 21 and older receive a Cubs duffel bag presented by Jim Beam. For details and ticket availability, visit Cubs.com.
Herrera, Bonifacio, and Mondesi here in the bottom of the 4th. Ball 1.
Slider, and you talked about it earlier, a little more depth than that cutter that he sometimes throws. He had the shifting thing. Promise you a response. I don't think it's going to go away. It's just going to moderate a little bit over time. The big question is, do the hitters make adjustments? And we had that old shot of the ballpark here when there was AstroTurf, and I think, you know, teams really valued speed, the ability to spray the ball around the diamond back in the turf era. And we may see not turf come back, but that approach come back a little bit more.
That's off the foot of Montgomery. It goes right to Russell. Mike is okay. And it's a 1-6-3 put out. That worked out.
Nice little redirect with the toe. A little hacky sack right to Russell.
Bonifacio struck out in the 2nd inning.
And I think to a certain extent the Cubs are becoming that kind of a team. It's their approach this year. Focus has been on spraying the ball around, hit more line drives, use the whole field. They're tops in the National League in runs scored, runs per game. I believe 3rd in Major League Baseball. But among the highest scoring teams, they're way down near the bottom in terms of home runs hit.
Laced foul to right. The Cubs lead the majors in batting average on balls in play at .320. Could speak to the idea of beating that shift.
Jorge, the younger brother of Emilio Bonifacio, not the littler brother though, bigger and stronger. Fairly bigger.
Five-three Milwaukee, bottom of the fourth. Franmil Reyes has homered for the Padres. Foul to left.
Reyes hit one of the longest home runs of the year the other day at Wrigley. 477, I believe, was the number. Bonifacio hit 17 home runs for the Royals last year, 384 at-bats, so he's got legitimate power. He hit 20 altogether, including the minor leagues.
And they were hoping he'd get a bunch more at-bats this year. Suspended in spring training for 80 games. PED punishment.
Yeah, this was the year they were hoping to, get a better handle on some of their younger players and what it's going to look like going forward. But his suspension, some other injuries have slowed things down.
Baez out again. He's got it on the run.
He is giving the fans in Kansas City a show here last night and tonight with the glove, with the bat. But not in the air as long, and still able to run under it. Again, the concentration this requires, there's a big human headed your way. You want to take that last peek and find them, but you can't. You can't take your eye off the ball.
That was a 65-yard touchdown if we were over at Arrowhead. He was in the clear. I am becoming way more bullish on his MVP candidacy by the day.
Yeah, darn right.
I mean, there are times when he has just carried this club. Two balls and a strike on Mondesi. Ground ball. Russell's got it. And the Royals go 1-2-3 for the first time tonight. Cubs 2, Royals nothing after 4.
town. Baseball night in Chicago, presented by Chick-fil-A. Ozzie Guillen, Dave Otto, and Layla Rahimi as they break down the big story surrounding the Cubs and the Sox tomorrow at 6:30 on NBC Sports Chicago. You know, if you're standing there with your arms folded like that, you're going to deliver the goods. Caratini gets the first crack here in the 5th. Deep fly to center, first time up. So it would have been ironic had it left the ballpark, given that it would be his first, and Keller has one of the best home run rates in all of baseball.
The 0-1. Ground ball fair into left. Caratini with a leadoff single.
And that's more typical of what we see from Victor. Line drive or ball on the ground, and squirts this one down the third base line for a lead single.
Anthony looking for his first hit of the series. 0 for 2 tonight, 0 for 6 in the set. He did take a walk in game 1. High for a ball. So 30 years ago tonight, you know what you and I would have been thinking?
30 years ago tonight.
Would have been a prevailing thought. I don't have to get up early tomorrow. It's a night game.
The night game at Wrigley.
Pause by Keller. Now Rizzo requests and is granted time. And everything changed August of '88. Padres are hanging around in Milwaukee 5-4 in the 5th. And well, Margot, the latest to homer. 4 home runs combined. Padres and Brewers. Beautiful shot of the K.
Brewers hit a lot of home runs. The Padres don't. Here we go.
That's a base hit.
That's a shift beater.
Two on, nobody out, and it'll bring up Baez.
Shades of George Brett right there. Yeah, so Keller here actually has the lowest home run rate in Major League Baseball for pitchers who've thrown at least 80 innings. 0.33 home runs per 9 innings pitched.
He's in some trouble here in the 5th. First pitch to Baez, hit on the ground to first. Butera, Mondesi, and that'll be a fielder's choice. First and third, 1 out. With Ben Zobrist coming up.
Javi buying into this approach after Caratini and Rizzo get off-field singles. He tries it. Butera there to make a play on him. Good heads-up play there by Mondesi, not trying to do something spectacular here. The throw is a little bit offline. He's a little bit off balance as he catches the throw, and a very low percentage play to try to complete that double play. They're out there having that meeting. Hey, remember that meeting where they said if it's first and third with Baez, we got to be careful for the double steal? Yeah, but Baez is on first, not third. Don't worry about it. Okay, break.
Yeah, you feel like some teams are going to do the box and one against Baez. Double team him. Always keep your eye on him. Utera holds him. Zobrist with a double, a run, a walk, and a caught stealing. He takes a wide one.
He's going to go hunting for that ground ball to try to get a double play to get out of this.
That's what he is really good at. 15 of them already.
Saw Zoe a while back move up in the box. I can't remember who the pitcher was, but it was a sinker baller. This may just be a series of sinkers off the outside part of the plate looking for that ground ball. And if he doesn't get it, he'll try again with Hayward. Normally you wouldn't go this cautious this early in the game, but I think it just speaks to how hot Zobrist has been.
Three balls, no strikes.
Interesting. Can't imagine he's going anywhere on 3-0. I might go now just to spite them.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, I wasn't going to go, dude, but now I feel like I have to.
Kind of challenging me here.
3-1.
Javi currently 6th in the National League in stolen bases with 19.
High fly ball out into right center. Circling is Herrera. And the throw's going to go to second base. Baez will hold at first. Caratini scores. It is 3-0. Sac fly for Zobrist.
A positive plate appearance for Zobrist. Double walk, sac fly tonight. He scored one, driven in one.
A two-run first. Cubs adding on here in the fifth. Pitch is high on Hayward. Now, tomorrow night we will take a look back at 8-8-88. First game under the lights, or the first scheduled game, and that's the other part of the story, is that it ended up getting rained out. Baez takes off. Soft liner will drop. Javi on his way to third. First and third for Bodie.
And nothing to read here with 2 outs for Baez. Broken bat, flare, but it drops in for Hayward. Cubs not exactly tearing the cover off the ball in this inning.
Bodie trying to come up with another big 2-out hit. Tripled in 2 in the first. Look out, up and in on him.
Started him inside last time as well. As severe as this one, that one had all kinds of running action.
Kick and the pitch. Bodie fouls back. And it's 1-1. Jose Quintana, who has faced the Royals and pitched in this ballpark quite a bit as a member of the White Sox, will go tomorrow night against a right-hander, Heath Fillmyer. Wrap up the series and road trip. Base hit to right. Baez in. 4-0. David Bodie with his 3rd RBI of the evening.
And nothing soft about that hit. Solid line drive single. Kind of validating the Royals' approach to him at the beginning of that bat when they were trying to get in on his knuckles. This one left out over the plate. Kapow. Another loud noise off the bat of David Bodie.
Feel pretty good about a 4-0 lead the way Mike Montgomery has worked so far. Ball 1 to Schwarber.
Yeah, I'm guessing the Royals haven't come from behind from 4 back very often this year.
They have some action. Left-hander Brian Flynn worked in the game last night. Minor league notes. Congrats to Alec Mills, the Iowa Cubs, in the Pacific Coast League Pitcher of the Week, or last week. His teammate Chris Coughlin, in a loss today to Las Vegas, had 4 hits. And the Indianapolis Indians are the Pirates' top affiliate. They had 2 guys hit for the cycle in the same game. Jacob Stallings and Kevin Newman. Hello, Newman.
We've seen Stallings in the big leagues a little bit. His dad's the basketball coach. Was the coach at Pitt for a while.
Fly ball out into shallow left center. Gordon will come on to make the play. The Cubs get a couple more and lead 4-0 in the 5th. Say, show me the Chicago Cubs into your X1 voice remote and get live team stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. Ben Zobrist done for the night as Almora comes into play center and moves Happ over to left. Escobar looks at a strike. Brian checks in on Twitter, said he saw Kevin Newman's pro debut. He was a shortstop. His double play partner's last name was Kramer.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I almost don't want to know. I don't want to verify. It's a better story. Just leaving it like that.
Yeah, that's good stuff. The Royals have a pitcher in their system. He's a relief pitcher, and his last name is Blewett.
Ground ball to Baez. He gets Escobar. Talking earlier about former Cub manager Dale Swaim. Kind of interesting, he's reunited with Ned Yost. Remember 2008? He was on Yost's staff in Milwaukee. They had a winning record in September and 12 games before the end of the season. Yost was fired and Dale took over. So they went to the postseason. Happ makes the catch. Ned is the winningest manager in the history of the Kansas City Royals. Dale is his bench coach.
And there's been a lot of speculation about Ned maybe shutting it down after this season. I wonder if Dale would be next in line or if they would go outside the organization. Ned took a lot of heat here before they won the World Series, and even when they did, there was a lot of folks that said it wasn't because of him, they won in spite of him.
Dale managed the Cubs when they were at the beginning of the rebuild. Lost 101 games in 2012, 96 losses in 2013. Ricky Renteria managed in 2014. And sure, mixed feelings when you watch the team you did manage a couple of years later win the World Series. So I'm sure Dale took a lot of pride in the fact that he managed some of these guys and kind of helped turn the franchise around. I remember Jim Leland in 2006 when the Tigers went to the World Series. He thanked Alan Trammell, who had managed that awful 2003 club. One ball and 2 strikes to Merrifield.
Whitley, David Merrifield. Shows up among the league leaders in the American League, top 10, numerous categories.
By the way, with Zobrist leaving the game, I'm not sure there's any sort of injury. My first thought was just a defensive maneuver. If there is some sort of health reason, we will pass it along.
I didn't see anything. Normally when a guy comes out at this stage of the game, you assume something's bothering him, but Joe just trying to get him off his feet.
Old foul.
Small sample, but I think the left field ball boy is outplaying the right field ball boy tonight. It's better jumps, takes better angles. Don't get down though, don't get your dauber down.
Base hit to left. Merrifield aboard with 2 outs.
On Wednesday, August 15th, Cubs Brewers, again first pitch 120, and up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans are going to take home a Kyle Hendricks bobblehead presented by Las Vegas. Tickets are still available at Cubs.com. I think they should do a Kyle Hendricks wind-up walking bobblehead that just puts its head down and walks off the field after retiring the side.
Lined and caught. Rizzo makes the grab. Gordon hit a bullet right to the Cubs first baseman. And that'll take us into the 6th inning. It's 4-0 Cubs. On NBCSportsChicago.com, presented by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Go to jeffvug.com or follow him on social media. Nationwide is on your side. Happ, Russell, and Caratini against Brad Keller. Ball 1 inside on a slider. Happ walked in the 4th. He lined out to the pitcher in the 2nd. So without a hit, but a much better night so far than last night. Swing and a miss on a change.
3 on the right side of the infield for Ian. Straight up in the outfield.
Fastball missed. It's 2-1.
Keller still out there despite giving up 4 runs. He's allowed 7 hits. Not like the bullpen is a better option for Ned Yost.
Strike 3 called. A top of the zone heater to get him.
Folks, check out the variety of luxury premier options that Wrigley Field has to offer, like the Dell EMC Legends Suite, which includes an all-inclusive suite experience. And best of all, a visit from a former Cubs player. Visit Cubs.com/premier for an option that fits your needs.
Russell takes a strike. They got the extra innings rule in the minors. It created a funky final in the Florida State League. The 7-inning game. Clearwater against Tampa. The Threshers, the Phillies Class A affiliate, no hits, no walks, and won the game 1-0. Because in the 8th inning, they started with a runner at second base.
I saw that story. Yeah, it's pretty good. People will be up in arms, the traditionalists, but I think it certainly makes sense in the minor leagues when you're trying to protect pitchers to do that.
Here comes Mondesi, and he will throw out Russell. An error advanced the runner from second to third. 2 batters later, ground out to first, won the game.
My sense is at some point in the future, Major League Baseball will adopt something that looks like that. I don't think it would be anytime real soon, and I doubt that it would be in the 10th inning, say, but maybe after 12 innings. I think it would be pretty exciting.
Two 2-0 on Caratini.
People always freak out. We're going to change the nature of the game. Well, the game has evolved and changed many times over the years. No greater example than the designated hitter rule that took effect in 1973.
Hopped up. One guy over there, that's Escobar, and he'll drift into foul territory. And the Cubs are gone 1-2-3 in the 6th, leading here in game 2 4-0.
Podcast, Kelly Kroll and Tony Andracki discuss the issues with John Lester, the Cubs bullpen, and how badly the team needs its injured stars back and performing at their best. Visit NBCSportsChicago.com/podcast to subscribe today.
One cool feature here at Kauffman Stadium, that red seat is the Buck O'Neill seat. Buck passed away in 2006. But they honor him, and they have done so since, I believe, 2007. They honor a fan every game and let that fan sit in Buck's seat. A member of the community who on a large or small scale embodies an aspect of Buck O'Neill's spirit. Very cool. Buck was a first baseman and managed in the Negro Leagues. Mostly with the Kansas City Monarchs. Worked as a scout He was a coach with the Chicago Cubs back in the early 60s. One and two the count on Salvador Perez. A chopper to third, played by Bodie. Negro Leagues Museum here in Kansas City is a must stop. Our associate producer Tamara Anderson headed over there the other day, and there's the statue in honor of Buck O'Neill. Buck played Kansas City from 1938 1955. He was 43 years old. One-0 pitch on Hunter Dozier is smashed foul. And it's 1-1.
Quality starts have been hard to come by for the Cubs this year. Cole Hamels delivered one last night. Mike Montgomery on the cusp of another one here tonight.
Baez making plays all over the place.
Where'd he go, number 9?
2 balls and a strike. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Boy, Montgomery, he likes pitching against the Royals, team that drafted him.
Yeah, he was good against them even when they were good. Just a couple of starts, but as we mentioned earlier, his first ever start against them, a shutout. One of 2 he has in his career. We'll change the eye level. 3 strikeouts for Mike tonight. They've all come on changeups.
One was against Dozier back in the 3rd. This time he walks him. And both walks have been issued to Dozier.
Bullpen should be in good shape tonight. Cishek, Kinsler, and Strop all with an inning last night, but very efficient. They got 9 outs on 28 pitches.
The word from the Cubs clubhouse, Ben Zobrist has left hip tightness. That's why he exited the game in the bottom of the 5th. Hopefully that is precautionary and not a big deal. Don't want to be without him for very long. Switch hitting Herrera takes in the dirt. Carl Edwards Jr. playing catch and doing it rather hastily. Charged by Bodie. He'll get Herrera. Runner at second base, 2 outs for Bonifacio.
David took a peek at second base, had no play there. The sure out at first base.
Padres have tied the Brewers. How about that? That game was 4-0 in the first. It's 5-5 in the 6th inning. So the Padres gave the Cubs all they could handle over the weekend, and they're doing the same tonight at Miller Park. Cardinals beat the Marlins 3-2. That was a comeback win for St. Louis. Matt Carpenter hit his 30th home run in that game. Paul DeYoung, 2-run homer.
Michaelis, the winner. Norris with the save. Michaelis now 12-3.
Pirates have a 10-0 lead at Colorado in the bottom of the 5th. Marte, Harrison, and Mercer have all homered in that ball game. Rough start for Chad Bettis. Gave up 9 in 4 2/3.
It's a matchup of cancer survivors.
Yep.
Bettis and Tyone. Jameson Tyone has been on quite a roll.
Montgomery ahead, 1-2. Runner at second, 2 gone. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Is that another changeup?
Another changeup.
Boy,
Yeah.
that's been a good pitch for him tonight. So he's through 6, shutting out the Royals 4-0. Thomas, time for the Miller Lite hold a true moment. Javier Baez racing out into right on 2 different occasions.
Anything I can do better.
Cubs lead 4-0. He stands in the on-deck circle. Left-hander Brian Flynn pitches for the 2nd consecutive night in this series. In relief of Brad Keller. And as you reminded me, Brian Flynn had a terrible, bizarre accident prior to spring training last year. He fell through the roof of his barn back home in Oklahoma, broke a rib, 3 non-displaced fractures in his vertebrae.
and fell 12 feet through. He was replacing some panels, fell onto a concrete slab, was unconscious when his wife found him. Sounds like it could have been a lot worse.
One and one on Rizzo. Flynn, a former Marlin. Third season with Kansas City.
He, like Keller, a large guy, 6'7", 250. Well, his pitches relative to Rizzo are pretty good, but they're off the plate because he's right on top of the plate.
That's a base hit. Second of the night for Rizzo. He's got a 12-game on base streak.
Punch one the other way last time, this time to the pull side. Went sharply enough. Able to get it through that zone trap.
Time for a Rocket Mortgage breakdown. Leading the league in RBIs, slugging, total bases, offensive wins above replacement. That's going to be 2. 4-6-3 double play.
The Chef Series presented by Maker's Mark offers fan a dynamic menu inspired by celebrity chefs and their take on ballpark favorites. The next featured chefs are Christine Sikowski and Josh Culp from Honey Butter Fried Chicken. Their items will be featured August 10th through the 15th. Cubs.com/Chef Series.
Almora batting for the first time in this game takes a strike. Albert hit ninth in the opener, went 1 for 3 with a walk. Flynn home and a ground ball, weakly rolled to Merrifield. Stretch time in KC. Cubs 4, Royals nothing. Experience to catch every moment this season. Get Cubs home screen icons and features like the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today. Montgomery still out there as we play the bottom of the 7th, and it's the bottom of the Kansas City order.
Somebody got a campfire going?
Smell like roasting
campfire.
Marshmallows.
Burning wood.
The Cubs bats.
Could be.
One ball, no strikes on Mondesi. That's dumped into center for a leadoff hit. Might be a batter-to-batter proposition now for Mike Montgomery. Jim Hickey on the phone. We can check on Edwards. That will be it. A quality start for Montgomery. 6+, 5 hits. At the moment, no runs.
Yeah, and he just gave up a little flare there. So this isn't about Montgomery losing his effectiveness. It's about trying to make the path easier for the guys coming out of the bullpen. You'd rather do it now than wait till there are a couple guys on.
It's a nice hand from the Cub fans in attendance, and we'll be right back. Time for the BioFreeze call to the pen. Official external pain relief of the Chicago Cubs. It's Carl Edwards Jr.
Carl 3-2 with a 2.80 as he takes them out for the 37th time. Always tough to hit. League batting 197 against him.
He enters with a man at first, Mondesi. Nobody out, facing Alcides Escobar. And Carl will throw over. 4-run lead for the Cubs, 7th inning.
Montgomery outstanding tonight. 6+ a batter, 5 hits. No runs thus far. A couple of walks, 4 strikeouts.
It's a hand from Chris Bryant. Played catch on the field today.
Yeah, took some ground balls. Still not swinging a bat.
Yu Darvish throw what they're calling a live PP session tomorrow. And Morrow's been playing catch. Fouled at the plate by Escobar. 1-2. Brandon Maurer, right-hander, up for the Royals. Ball drifted inside. Make it 2-2. Mike should feel very good about his outing tonight. Cole Hamels, 6 innings, 1 run last night. Starters have been excellent so far in this series.
Overall, second half of the season, post All-Star break, I guess, to clarify, Cubs starters have not been particularly good. Positive signs here, first 2 games of this series.
Now your Verizon projected starters for tomorrow night. Jose Quintana, as we mentioned earlier, pretty familiar with this ballpark and earned his 10th win his last time out. Heath Fillmyer will go for the Royals.
Another rookie. It'll be the 4th rookie the Cubs will have faced in the last 5 games.
How about 24 career starts against Kansas City, and a dozen of those have been here. He has pitched against the Royals more than any team in baseball, and now the Royals have their best threat of the ball game, 2 on with nobody out.
Yeah, we talked about how difficult it is to hit Edwards, but when he gets into trouble, it's usually walks, and it can go south in a hurry. It happens a handful of times every year. So they're on high alert over there in the Cubs dugout.
Drew Butera. All 1 high. Popped him up. Butera wants to smash his bat down, but this side's better of it. Bodie makes the catch, 1 away.
There are a lot of guys in the game that really spin the 4-seam fastball. They throw it high in the zone or above the zone and get a lot of weak contact and swings and misses. There are a lot of guys who have breaking balls that induce ground balls. Edwards does both. That's what makes him so tough. So that 4-seamer buy you up, and then he can make you chase the curve ball. A lot of times that's a ground ball pitch for him too.
Whit Merrifield, 1 for 3. Fastball 96 on the outside corner.
Except for the loss the other day to the Padres, did Edwards. Had a clean inning, then came back for a second one, and that one wasn't so clean. He allowed a hit and a run.
This inning started with a base hit by Mondesi. So then came and got Montgomery. Inserted Edwards. He walked Escobar. Butera popped to third. Now a 1-1 count on Merrifield.
Martini perhaps saw something in Edwards' delivery he didn't like.
Runners take off. Here's a throw to third. It's late. Double steal. That's a risk. In the late innings, down 4, but it pays off. Meantime, 3-1 on Merrifield.
Yeah, I think it's a smart play by Ned Yost to be aggressive. As we've mentioned numerous times yesterday and today, they don't have a lot of firepower in their batting order, so I don't think you can just wait back if you're the Royals and hope to slug your way back into the game. So now they get into a situation where a scratch single scores 2. Wants to give his best hitter Merrifield the chance to do that.
Infield back. Cubs trying to avoid a big inning. Don't mind giving up 1. Swing and a miss. 3-2. That was just my best, your best, and Edwards' best was better. Sets up a 3-2 swing and a miss. Strike 3.
A little bit off the outside corner, but very difficult to lay off this one, and even more difficult to catch up to it. Explosive heater at 95.
Two Royals retired. The batter is Gordon. And then Kinsler is up. The Cubs bullpen. He went around 1-1. Fly ball, shallow left. Happ stays on his feet, and a nice escape job by Carl Edwards Jr. It's 4-0 after 7. Mutual Insurance field coverage. Hayward into foul territory. Nice sliding grab on the track. And the new pitcher for the Royals is veteran right-hander Brandon Maurer.
16 innings at the big league level this year. He's allowed 27 hits and 13 walks. Boy, that's a whole lot of traffic. 4 of those 27 hits have left the ballpark. It adds up to a 10.69 earned run average for the former Mariner and Padre.
28 years old. And Hayward takes low and in. Nice job by Edwards to keep the Royals off the board in the 7th. They had 2 on, nobody out, 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. Could not cash in.
So 6 shutout innings for Mike Montgomery tonight. Continues his dominance over his former club. He threw strike 1 to 20 of the 24 batters he faced tonight.
That's excellent. One earned run allowed in his career for Montgomery against the Royals. Over 22 innings of work.
Similar to the numbers Cole Hamels has put up against the Royals. So they had the right guys teed up to go here in this series.
A fly ball to left field. It's deep, but it is going to stay in for Alex Gordon. 1 away.
It's kind of a fun fact. Mike Montgomery making his 13th start tonight. He's the 3rd Cubs left-hander to do that, joining Lester and Quintana. They did it last year as well. This is the first time in the long history of this franchise that the Cubs have had 3 southpaws make at least 13 starts in consecutive seasons.
Mike made 14 last year. Yeah, that's cool. Bodie has knocked in 3 of the Cubs' 4 runs tonight. Jesse Chavez up in the Cubs pen.
Now another big one, 6'5", 230. Put together a pretty good off-season basketball team.
What was a big bet? Was it Mike Mussina? He the big pickup basketball guy?
Well, you know, Timmy Kirchin used to organize games back there. I know Cal Ripken played a lot
while he was active.
Yeah. Guessing more so in the off season than during the season.
Oh yeah, that would be.
Cal, though, you know,
no.
He used to in the Metrodome back in the day when they would come in there. There's these long flight of steps from the field up to the clubhouse, and he always would see if he could take it in like 3 bounds. I don't know how many, like 15 steps, and he'd just run. As soon as BP was over, you'd see him sprinting across the field through the dugout and into the tunnel and try to leap up the stairs in as few strides as possible.
3rd reach for Bodie. Now a hefty home run leaderboard. Baez out in front of the pack with 25. Schwarber has 20. Kyle fouls straight back to the screen.
Cal also used to organize football games on the turf after the game with the clubhouse guys. Like, he didn't get enough baseball.
That's amazing. They're in the 7th inning in Milwaukee, still 5-5. Padres and Brewers, both teams into their bullpen. Woo! 1-2. The Braves earned a split. They scored 2 in the 9th to beat the Nationals 3-1. That's down for a hit. Bodie on his way to third. And the Cubs threatening again here in the 8th inning. First and third, 1 out.
We're able to get on top of that pitch and deliver his first hit of the series. They're trying to go elevated heater. He was ready for it. Whacked it into right.
Strike 1 to Happ. So that's a big win for Atlanta, avoiding a doubleheader sweep.
Bryce Harper went deep again today. He's been on fire lately.
Phillies lost a heartbreaker in extras last night in Arizona. Braves starting the day 1 back of the Phillies. Washington 5.5 out. Phillies and D-backs nothing in the 3rd tonight. That's a Pivetta-Greinke pitching matchup.
Yeah, well, Jake went 8 shutout last night, right? The bullpen gave it up.
He was really good.
Ended up losing in 14.
Should be plenty deep enough. Herrera makes the catch. Here comes Bodie. He's in. It's 5-0. Ian Happ gets a sacrifice fly.
Walk, sacrifice, line out for a Happ tonight, and the second sac fly for the Cubs. Sobers had one earlier.
And it is a Gallagher insurance run.
When players take batting practice, they're not just in there wailing away. I mean, for times they are, but typically they're going to take early. They're going to get a couple bunts down. They're going to hit the ball the other way. They're going to hit and run. They're going to simulate a man on third and look for a pitch that they can hit in the air, a sac fly. So that all goes on in pregame work, whether it's in the cage or out on the field. You're looking for something middle of the field, much more likely with that approach to get the ball airborne. Execution has been outstanding the last couple of nights.
In case you are wondering, the Cubs now have 34 sacrifice flies this season. They started the night tied for 5th in the majors in that department. Yankees with 44 leading the way. Cubs also tied for 4th in sack bunts. So they have been very sacrificial this season. Hit a ton and foul to left by Russell. Still 2-2. 27,883 the paid crowd. So a little less than last night. Red Sox beat the Blue Jays 10-7. Scored 9 runs for the last 3 innings, including 5 in the 10th to win that game.
Meanwhile, Yankees and the White Sox are in a 1-1 tie in the 8th. If the Yankees lose, they will fall 10 games behind Boston.
Ball 4. Jerry Remy, longtime Red Sox TV analyst, has been diagnosed again with cancer. So we wish Jerry the best in his recovery. Jerry now 65 years old. Red Sox record, 80-34. That's their most wins ever after 114 games. And as good as the Yankees have been, I mean, if the Yankees were just 7 or 8 over 500, the Red Sox could clinch like September 1st. But the Yankees are 27 games over 500. But they're way back in the division. As Caratini grounds out, 3-1. Cubs add another run to their advantage. It's 5-0 in the 8th.
Shuttle service for night and weekend games and a free bike check located by the Addison Red Line station. Pace Express buses also are available from Hillside and Rolling Meadows. Check out available transportation and parking options at cubs.com/transportation.
Jesse Chavez will work here in the 8th inning. He has 3-4-5 in the Royals batting order.
Jesse has been really good since joining the Cubs. He's been good all season long. See the evidence. 38 games, 3.18 ERA.
Congrats to Bartolo Colon, making history tonight. Career win 246. It's the most victories by a Latin American-born pitcher. He passes Dennis Martinez. Willie Peralta getting ready in the Royals pen.
So if you're into nicknames, it was a big, sexy passing El Presidente.
Yep. Woo! 1-2 the count on the Royals catcher. Showed you earlier the Brewers are now trailing. Franmil Reyes has been a one-man wrecking crew. 7-5 Padres late. So the Cubs have a chance now to get their lead back to 2.5 in the Central. The inside corner, it's full. Dozier waits on deck. Ground ball to Bodie, ranging to his left.
Apologizing to Anthony there. He threw him a little bit of a sinker across the diamond. But Bodie, one of those guys, when the ball's hitting his direction, high level of confidence that the play is going to be made. Jesse working for the 9th time in a Cub uniform. 11 2/3 innings pitched. He struck out 13, walked only 1.
Ball and 2 strikes. Called strike 3.
That was interesting. You saw him a little nod of the head to Caratini. He wanted to throw that ball inside. So Victor set up in there. He didn't hit his spot. Still got Dozier looking.
Bouncer foul by Herrera, batting from the left side. Mentioned that doubleheader split in Washington. The Nationals have signed Greg Holland, and he worked a scoreless inning today in the opener of that series. Rolled into center. He walked 1, struck out 3. Friday, the Cubs are back on NBC Sports Chicago to open up a series against the Washington Nationals. Our coverage kicks off at 12:30 with Cubs pregame live. You can stream the game live on the NBC Sports app. Cubs have not announced their rotation for the weekend. Off day Thursday and then another one next Monday. So the Cubs can move some things around if they want to. Bodie will throw to Baez. Chavez a scoreless 8. We go to the 9th inning. All Cubs tonight leading 5-0. All the lefties hang together. Hamels won last night. Quintana will pitch tomorrow night.
Yeah, usually, typically when you add left-handers to your club, the character in the clubhouse rises. Just a natural fact. Willie Peralta, we remember him with the Brewers. 16 times he has pitched for the Royals this year with a 3.07.
He's been closing after they traded away Kelvin Herrera. First pitch strike to Rizzo. How did he not get hit? He's got quick feet, that's how. Rizzo 2 out of 4 tonight. Peralta's always thrown hard even when he started.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, it looked like he was ready to take off.
Swing and a miss, or strike 3. So 1 out now. Baez.
The breaking ball there from Peralta. Hearts of 6 years in the big leagues now, 29 years of age. "17-game winner with the Brewers in 2014, had a 3.53 ERA. Injury issues, made 20 starts the following year, pitched to a 4.72, 23 starts the next year at a 4.86. Things really went south on him last year. 8 starts, 11 relief appearances at the big league level, and a 7.85 ERA.
One swing and a miss. Baez.
Maybe this will be the beginning of a turnaround for him. It's all in out of the bullpen.
See Perez saying down, down, down. He left it up and he got away with it. Baez grabbing Perez's mask and then had to get out of the way. It's out number 2.
I thought he was going to do the thing like we did when we were kids. You get on your hands and knees behind the guy and then somebody else pushes him over. Javi Baez picking up masks, earning MVP votes everywhere he goes.
Popped up by Almora, and this will quickly end the Cubs' 9th inning. Last of the 9th, Cubs 5, Royals 0. presented by Benny's Beverage Depot, and a shared honor tonight. David Bodie with the offense. 2-run triple in the first, knocked in another run in the 5th. Solid defense throughout, walked and scored in the 8th. And Mike Montgomery with 6 shutout frames tonight.
Allowed 5 hits, a couple of walks, struck out 4. Working ahead in the count all night long.
Benny's Beverage Depot is the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs, and it's now Justin Wilson to work with a 5-0 lead.
At the bottom of the order to contend with here. Wilson working for the 49th time.
First pitch swinging.
The Royals had
away.
8 hits in the ball game last night, 6 tonight. All 14 hits singles. We've seen a Cub outfielder back up yet in this series.
Yeah, that's not going to win many ball games. Strike call. 0-2.
You were mentioning the upcoming starters last inning. You know that when Don Larson pitched his perfect game in the World Series, he did not know he was going to pitch until he got to the ballpark that morning?
I did not know that.
Yeah, isn't that funny how times have changed? Casey Stengel was the manager. Just couldn't make up his mind the night before. Just picture that scenario in this day and age. Let you guys know tomorrow who's pitching. Traditional back in the day that the manager or the pitching coach will put a ball in the starting pitcher's locker, like in his glove or in his spikes or something. That tradition has continued, and a lot of teams do it. But it's never a surprise. In that instance, it was a surprise. Larson shows up and there's a baseball in his spikes. Looks like it's me today.
No play for Rizzo. Well, everything going the Cubs' way tonight. Well, one exception, Ben Zobrist left earlier with a hip issue, hip tightness. And again, hope it's nothing serious. This is Almora to record out number 1. Good breaking ball in there on Escobar. Two-run homer, Hunter Renfroe. 9-5 San Diego.
Ooh, good slider.
Headline might read, the Friars beer battering the Brewers tonight. Game not over. They're in the 8th, but Padres with a 4-run lead. Cubs lead this one by 5. 1-2. Escobar fouls away. 2-2 count. Wilson pitches exclusively out of the stretch. Ooh. One hopper to Baez as Wilson had to duck out of the way. 2 gone. 1 out to get, and it'll be Drew Butera to bat.
On the line, but softly hit, a little deceiving, and ball got in on his hands a little bit. Many Cub fans on hand for this series.
Strike called, 1-1. Yeah, Cubs taking care of business so far. 3-1 win last night, leading 5-0 tonight. Royals down to their final strike. Ground ball foul to third. If Wilson can keep the Royals off the board, the Cubs will have their 12th shutout of the year. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Cubs win. A 1-2-3 ninth. Excellent work by the bullpen. Quality start, Mike Montgomery. A combined 6-hit blanking of the Royals. Jose Quintana will go for the sweep tomorrow. For JD and our entire NBC Sports Chicago crew here at Kansas City, Len Casper with your final score. Cubs 5, Royals nothing. Back home on Friday here on NBC Sports Chicago, 12:30 for our pregame coverage as the Cubs host Washington. More to